Hello, and welcome to Managing Practitioner Beliefs. I'm your host, Hoss Tabrizi, and today's episode is titled Reflective Practice, Culture, and Faith in Sports Psychology. In this episode, I'll outline why reflective practice and self awareness are essential for ethical, culturally competent consulting. I'll also examine how a consultant's cultural and spiritual background can shape the consulting process and offer concrete recommendations practitioners can use to manage their beliefs when working with athletes and clients. Sport and performance psychologists hold roles that blend technical skill with personal expression. As Poswarski 2019 describes, the consultant functions as expert person, performer, and self-regulator. That mix makes awareness of one's values and cultural lenses not optional. It's central to ethical, effective practice. When unchecked, practitioner belief can bias assessment, interfere with rapport, and reduce the safety and inclusivity of services. Reflective practice is a deliberate process of reviewing experience, identifying assumptions, and adapting future behavior. Self-awareness is the capacity to recognize one's internal states, values, emotions, and cultural assumptions, and their influence on decisions and behavior. Wadsworth and colleagues' systematic review found that structured reflection, journaling, and supervision peer dialogue supports emotional regulation, resilience, and better client outcomes. Wadsworth et al., 2021. In short, reflection builds the bridge between personal experience and professional objectivity. A consultant's cultural and spiritual identity affects communication style, default explanations for behavior, perceptions of motivation, and assumptions about family or community roles. Hogan 2013 delineated common barriers to cross-cultural engagement: denial, defensiveness, minimization, overgeneralization, cultural superiority, and institutional bias that can distort practitioner judgment. Spiritual beliefs can shape views on coping, attribution of meaning, and acceptable interventions. If unexamined, these beliefs may lead to micro-invalidations, mismatched interventions, or ethical dilemmas. Todd et al. 2024 also highlight how internal dialogues during sessions can influence presence and decision making. Without awareness, these dialogues may guide responses unconsciously. Beyond client well-being, unmanaged practitioner beliefs carry professional risk. Compromised informed consent, inappropriate goal setting, and decisions that conflict with cultural or religious values of the client. Corciatoroli et al. 2023 argue that ongoing professional development and critical supervision are foundational to ethical, sustainable practice. Therefore, managing beliefs isn't simply personal growth, it's core professional responsibility. I'll offer 5 actionable strategy consultants can implement immediately. Number 1, adopt a structured reflective routine. After each session, complete a brief debrief. What went well? What assumptions surfaced? And what emotions were present? Use a simple template to make this habitual. Number 2, use supervision with a multicultural lens. Seek supervisors or peer consultants who can challenge cultural blind spots. Bring specific cases and ask for cultural formulation feedback. Number 3, integrate cultural and spiritual assessment early. Include culturally attuned intake questions and a brief spiritual history when appropriate. Document client preferences and decision-making influences. Number 4, commit to ongoing targeted training. Enroll in multicultural competence and culturally responsive practice workshops at least quarterly. Track learning with measurable goals and artifacts, notes, certificates. Number 5, create accountability systems. Maintain a supervision log, set reflective goals, and use client feedback instruments that assess cultural safety and rapport. Review trends quarterly and adjust practice. Practical tools and examples. Here are some micro practices to operationalize the aforementioned strategies. 2-minute cultural check in at the top of early sessions. Are the cultural or spiritual considerations you want me to know about that will help me support you? Use a brief post session rating scale for clients on cultural comfort and perceived respect. In supervision, present a beliefs and bias item. What might I assume right now about this athlete's motivations based on my background? Maintain a one-page cultural reference. Quick reminders about norms, family roles, language preferences, and spiritual observances relevant to the population you serve. Spiritual and religious beliefs require sensitivity. Avoid imposing practices or interpreting symptoms through a faith lens without consent. When faith is central to a client's identity, collaborate to incorporate spirituality, congruent interventions, or provide appropriate referrals. When faith conflicts with evidence-based approaches, use supervision and ethical consultation to navigate boundaries. Always prioritize client autonomy and informed consent. To know if these strategies work, use both self and external measures. Self-monitor with reflective logs and pre- and post-ratings of decision confidence and cultural awareness. Seek client feedback via brief surveys on perceived cultural safety. Track supervisory notes and training completion. Review metrics quarterly and set specific improvement goals. 3 challenges often arise when dealing with challenges, and these are some strategies to mitigate them. Defensiveness when receiving feedback, time constraints, and limited access to culturally competent supervision. Mitigate defensiveness by framing feedback as case enhancement, not personal critique. Address time constraints by using micro practices and templates. If local supervision is limited, seek remote supervision or peer consultation groups focused on cultural competence. To summarize, reflective practice and self-awareness are not optional extras. They're ethical imperatives that protect clients and strengthen practitioners. By establishing structured reflection, pursuing targeted supervision, incorporating cultural and spiritual assessments, engaging in ongoing training, and measuring outcomes, consultants can reduce bias, enhance rapport, and provide culturally responsive care. Smith and Keegan, 2023. Thank you for listening to this episode of Managing Practitioner Beliefs. If this episode was useful, please share it with a colleague and consider subscribing. For resources and references used in today's episode, see the script and reference page linked with the episode. I'm Haas Tabrizi. Stay reflective, stay curious, and take care.